Hey YouTube, FS Physicus. Good to be talking to you folks today. Well, we've got another unboxing video for you, and it should be no surprise that there is a blue Smith & Wesson box here on the table. As you probably noticed on the way in, today we are unboxing a Smith & Wesson Model 29 4-inch 44 mag. So, I think you know the drill by now. I'm going to put the box down here on the surface and throw on the GoPro and let you look over my shoulder while I go through the unboxing. Let's get started. Okay, we're back and let's get started. First of all, I'll show you the end of the box here. It has some information on it. That is a Model 29-10. It is a 44 Magnum revolver with a 4-inch barrel. You can get the SKU over here in case you want to buy one yourself and want to make sure it's the same thing. Imagine that. And let's take a look at what's in the box. All right. One nice thing that Smith does, in addition to the nice rigid plastic box, is they give you the gun up front. No paperwork on top of it, just poof, here's the gun. So I'm going to take this out for just a moment and put it to the side. Get rid of the protective paper, which, this was shipped to my FFL. I'm sure it got shaken around a bit and the paper's gotten torn up. Luckily, I don't care about keeping it. And we've got a little warning over here. It says, don't put a loaded firearm in this box. Okay, that's a good thing. You know, even if you put the firearm in here, closed up, lock it, make sure it's not loaded. Unload it first. Good safety instructions. Let's see, let's get all this stuff out of here, out of the top. Just check. Yeah, there's nothing else under there hiding. What do we got? Well, we got a key lock. Okay, I've got quite a collection of those because I've got a safe and my guns stay in the safe. Actually, truthfully, in my house, the guns are not always in the safe, but all the ammo always is. So there's no ammo lying around. You may or may not agree with that, but it's how I keep things under control, and I need less space to do that. Okay, here is a card to sign up for membership with the NRA. I'm a life member, so I don't need it. I strongly suggest that if you are a gun owner, you go ahead and join some kind of a Second Amendment advocacy group. If you don't like the NRA, some people just don't. It doesn't have to be them. One of the other things that I do in addition to being a life member of the NRA is I support Second Amendment Foundation by going to smile.amazon.com. So every time I place an Amazon order, they give a little money to Second Amendment Foundation. Okay, we've got a safety and instruction manual. This is for revolvers, modern style. So this is not a model specific. It's not just for the Model 29. I look at that slightly negatively, but it is a cost-saving measure, and let's face it, single/double action revolvers all operate in virtually the same way. The Model 29 is not a design that has any kind of unusual feature, removable, replaceable compensator or sight rings or anything like that. So the fact that Smith & Wesson is saving money by printing a generic manual, that's fine with me. It's got good information, inspecting it, how the lock works, loading, firing, decocking, what to do with misfires, etc. And then there is some model-specific information. Okay, how to deal with the compensators, section on the governor. Okay, so maybe you've seen this in my governor unboxing video, how to use the moon clips. Doesn't apply to the Model 29, but it's good to have it in there. Okay. We've got our warranty registration card, and look, register online at www.smith-wesson.com. Big thumbs up for that. Okay, I dinged Taurus because they do not have online product registration, product warranty registration on their website, and come on guys, it's 2016, you should be doing that. And then we've got the couple of keys for one of the loved or hated or controversial features on new production Smith & Wesson revolvers, and that is the key lock, or the key lock of doom, or the key lock of death, or death to the key lock, depending on what your perspective is. I don't particularly see that you need it. I don't care that it's here. I wouldn't go so far as to take the gun apart and defeat that because I don't think it would accidentally activate. So to me, it's just a non-issue. Whatever. We'll show you this is the key. You put it in, you turn it counterclockwise, the little tab pops up and says locked, and now the hammer and the trigger are prevented from moving. Interesting to note that you can still, oh look, let's safety check the gun. Interesting to note that you can still pop the cylinder out, load it, and then, you know, do all that while it's locked. I personally, the only time I would use this is if I were storing it for a very long period of time, in which case I wouldn't leave it loaded. But that's up to you. If you want to leave it loaded in your safe and put that, you know, lock that for additional protection, fine. You know, it's your gun. That's cool. I wouldn't do it, but that's up to you. Okay, let's get that unlocked. And then let's cover the features, which are pretty much the same as any other single or double action revolver. We've got a fixed front sight, red ramp up here. We've got some grooves in the top of the barrel and the back, top strap rather. This helps defeat glare so that you do not have glare while you're trying to align your sights. I can't see through the camera at the moment, so I don't know if you're getting any kind of sight alignment, but we've got the red ramp in the front. We've got a fully adjustable rear sight with the white outline. Got these on my 686 too. Very nice. They kind of spoil you. You know, why not? Why not make them completely adjustable? So we've got the 4-inch barrel. We are chambered in 44 Magnum, and again, popping this open, you can see those big holes. There are 6 of them. Okay, so we got a 6-round capacity, 6 rounds of 44 Magnum or 44 Special. That's right. You guys have been paying attention. Good. Okay, we've got the standard Smith cylinder release. Okay, which you push forward. It's got a nice ramp there. It's checkered very well. And the shape of it, you know, is pretty good on the thumb. Okay, we've got a nicely checkered wide spur on the hammer. Okay, we've got some ribbing here, you know, on the front of the trigger, which is good. Here, we'll do a single action. We'll do double action. Okay. And then we've got these, I don't think these are real wood. It's, I think, a manufactured product, but they really make the gun look correct. Maybe at some point I might try and find some more natural looking wood grips. This material is very slippery where it's smooth. The checkering is nice and certainly, you know, lets you get a good grip on the firearm. So no problem there. Again, very nice single action. Very nice double action. Everything's very smooth, just the way it should be. So there's not a lot else I can tell you about the features of the firearm. It's a single/double action revolver, and it works pretty much like the rest of them do. This one is significant because of its Hollywood associations. If you haven't thought of it by now, or you haven't realized it by now, when you're talking Model 29, you should be thinking Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, Inspector Harry Callahan, San Francisco PD, etc. Okay? Now, I'm going to say that this is Dirty Harry's gun. A lot of people out there are going to disagree with me. I've got a couple of sources of information I've read on the internet. Not that you can believe everything out there, but it does seem that there's a general consensus that the original script for Dirty Harry called for a 4-inch Model 29. One of the versions says a nickel finished Model 29 with a 4-inch barrel. Okay, so oh darn, I might have to go buy a nickel one so that I have my bases covered. Okay, that's what the script called for. Unfortunately, the Model 29 in 1970-71, when Dirty Harry was being filmed, was not a particularly popular firearm. It had a following with a small group of large caliber handgun hunters. Okay, those were the folks that were looking for the Model 29. It was not wildly popular. So, the gun, which had been introduced in 1955, was actually out of production when Dirty Harry was being filmed. And there's a couple of different stories, again, on how they got the guns for the movie. One says Clint Eastwood himself called a Smith rep by the name of, oh gosh, I hope it's Bob Sauer. Last name was Sauer. Could have been Bob or Bill. I would have to go check again. And Sauer went to Smith & Wesson, got somebody at the factory to make 2 Model 29s from spare parts that were at the factory. The only barrels they had were, I believe, 6.5 and 8 3/8. So I do now have to go back and watch Dirty Harry and see if I can tell from the amount of barrel past the underlug if he is switching between a 6.5 and an 8 3/8, firearm. I think it's kind of funny that some of this stuff is really not nailed down. I mean, come on, guys, you had pen and paper back in '71. You should have written this stuff down. Who knew it was going to be such a success, right? The other version says that, again, no Model 29s in production, couldn't find any 4-inch ones. So there's a police supply house in LA that had 3 of these 6.5-inch barreled models, and they got 2 or 3 of them or whatever for use in the movie from there. I don't know which is true. Basically, the way that I see it is any Model 29, whether it's blued or nickel, whether the barrel is 4 inches, 6 inches, 6.5 inches, or 8 3/8, are all guns that Dirty Harry coulda, shoulda, woulda carried. And you are completely accurate to say that's Dirty Harry's gun. So, well, I think that about covers the close-up here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. This is really, the bluing is very shiny, and I'm really enjoying the finish. The weight is substantial. I mean, don't let me kid you. That's a pretty substantial weight to it. I hope that it's enough in the short barrel to handle 44 Magnum loads, and I may shoot a lot of 44 Special out of it. Who knows? I'm sure either way it will be a fine performing revolver. Okay, let's go back to the other camera and wrap up. Okay, YouTube, that pretty much takes care of the unboxing of the 44 Magnum Smith & Wesson Model 29 with a 4-inch barrel. Certainly in this finish, a classic design. I'm very happy with the purchase, and I'm really looking forward to getting this out to the range and seeing what it's like. Hopefully 44 Magnums are controllable in a 4-inch barrel. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure if other people can do it, I can do it. That's not a big deal. And, like I said, I'm really anxious to get out to the range and give this a try. As a matter of fact, I'm ready to carry it right out there right now. So, again, Smith & Wesson Model 29 4-inch 44 Magnum. Thanks for looking in on me.